Welcome back, kindergarten. We are going to do our third activity today for our What is Spring poem that we wrote. So you guys will remember I said there was three things. We did our poem by writing the words. We did our drawings or our illustrations by making a collage of our pictures. And today we're going to do our building sentences for the poem. So you're going to have a building sentences page that says, what is spring? Sentence building. And mine has the words written in it, but yours won't. So you're going to need to write your words in first. I wonder if you can remember all the lines from my poem. Let's see if you can. Can you read it with me? Spring is, what's that? What's the first thing I wrote about? Rain. It's an R word, right? Rain. Let's see what the next page is. Do you remember what I did next in my poem? It was a type of bug, right? Do you remember which one it was? Spring is butterflies. Did you remember? Or did you forget what I drew? What else did I draw? Do you remember the next thing? Something I like to do outside, right? Do you remember? Spring also is a B word. Bike riding. And my favorite thing about spring was that it has warm days. And most of all, spring is warm days. So boys and girls, you're going to write the words from your poem into this paper that you have in your package or that you've printed from Google Classroom. And then you need to cut out all the words. So don't forget, this isn't the end of this activity. No, that's too easy. You need to cut out all of these words. These are like little puzzles. Each of these pages is a puzzle. So you're going to cut them out, and then you're going to put all the sentences back together, just like you're solving a puzzle for each sentence from your poem. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to cut out my words, and then we're going to take a look at how I use strategies to help me put back my sentences after the words are cut out. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay, so my kindergartens, I cut out all my words from my sentences, and I just put them in a giant pile. When your parents do this with you, you might decide to do one sentence at a time. But I'm going to show you, if you want to try and challenge yourself, how to make these sentences when you have cut out everything and it's all mixed together. So I'm going to use some things to help me. First of all, I'm going to remind myself what I wrote by looking at my pictures and remembering what the pattern was in the sentences. So remember, every sentence said spring is. So if I want to start with spring is clouds, or rain rather, I'd have to find my first word in that poem, spring. And remember, if I'm starting a sentence, the first letter of my first word has to have what kind of letter? A capital letter. So if I'm looking for spring, which of the words spring would I use here for my first sentence? Would I use spring that has a capital S, or would I use spring that has a little s? What do you think? If you said capital, you're right. So spring with a capital is going to be the very beginning of my first sentence. Spring is, well, maybe I already know what is looks like because I've seen it lots. It's even on my picture page. I and S. So let's see. I see one right here. Spring is, rain. What does rain start with? Does rain start with a B? No. Does rain start with an R? Yes. Rain. I used my sound that I know to spell that word. Spring is rain. I did my first sentence. So I'm going to move this sentence to the side, and I'm going to start the second sentence. Let's look at the picture. Which one do I want to do next? Maybe my butterfly. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned that the sentences have to start with a capital. And what's the first word? Spring. So this spring, is this the one that I need to start with? No, because this spring has a little s. I need to look for one of my words for spring that has a capital S. And I know that my sentence will end with an exclamation mark, because at the end of all the sentences on my paper, that's what they have, an exclamation mark. Okay? So I'm going to take a look for the word spring, and then the word is. Remember, I found is here, so I'm going to look for the same word. Spring is, and I want butterflies. What does butterfly start with? But there's two words that start with a B. Butterflies. Is butterflies one word or two words? Butterflies. Butterfly sounds like one word, right? Butterflies, one word. So it must be this one. Butterflies. And there's my exclamation mark. That tells me this is the end of my sentence. Spring is butterflies. Yeah. I'm going to pull that one down too. Next picture. Bike riding. Okay, are you guys getting good at this yet? So, first word is going to be what? You tell me. Spring, capital S. Second word is going to be the same as this one, is. And then I need bike riding. Bike riding is two words, bike riding. And it starts with the sound B. Bike starts with B. So that has to be the same letter that butterfly started with. Spring is bike riding. This is two words, so that tells me this is bike riding. Bike riding. We're going to move it down, and there's my end. My captain period or my exclamation mark comes at the end of my sentence, right? Oh my goodness. And most of all, spring is warm days. This is a long sentence, you guys. How are we going to do this? Look at all the words that I have left. And most of all, spring is warm days. What's the first word I just said? And. Does anyone know how to spell and? And. But I have all these short words. I don't know which one is and. That could be and. That could be and. No, that's not and. That starts with Is. I've already learned that word. I want and. Nope. And oh, yeah, we've seen this word already. This is spring. Okay, so these three I'll move to the side. Spring is not the right word. I think this says warm days, because this is what I wrote, and this is the end of the sentence. Okay, so which of these words is and? Which one is the first word for my sentence? Remember what we learned about what starts our sentence? Always have your first word in a sentence start with a capital. So even if I can't read them, I see a clue. And has a capital. And most. Okay, now we got to figure out most. Most. What does most start with? What letter is M, right? Which of these words starts with an M? This one. Most of, most of, all, of. Do you know what of starts with? Of. That's an O sound. Most of, all. All is that other word we were trying to figure out. Most of all. It starts with an A as well. And most of all. And then I finally get to do spring is, because I've learned these two words from all that other practice, warm days. We just put all of our sentences together. This one was tough. There's so many words, but we did it. We used lots of clues. Capitals at the beginning, and punctuation like periods and exclamation marks at the end. Spring is a word we've seen lots. Is a word we've seen lots. And then we use our sounds to help us figure out the rest of the words. Try it for your poem, you guys. I want to hear how it goes for you. Let me know.